that will give you a sense of direction in the meantime.
Sure, sharing.
So quick background about me. I'm based in India, in a town called Nagpur. We have a fab lab in here. And for the past 10 years, I've been an entrepreneur. I started my journey as a maker, as a research fellow, and just stumbled upon entrepreneurship. My first startup was in the hardware space. And since then, I've run 2 startups, been consulting a bunch of businesses, working with investors, mentors, and different folks in the ecosystem to support entrepreneurship. Currently, I lead this foundation called Vruksh Ecosystem, which is a nonprofit, and we primarily run entrepreneurship initiatives for young entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, and mostly focused in low-income communities, social entrepreneurship, this kind of. So this is a short presentation that I had built. We call this as step 1 to entrepreneurship. And Anupam, could you please take it to the next one? Yeah, so quick thing, we will be covering the why, the what, the why, the who, the what, the how, and the when of starting up. Next one, please. Yeah, so I think as makers, I think our why is fairly sorted, right? We understand the problem. We understand what could be the potential solution, and we're passionate about building a solution around it, right? So and that's why, like, because we are so passionate about building things, about solving problems, we're passionate on like the core of the reason of starting up or building a solution is fairly in place, but I feel that needs to be dug deeper, like even as you as Fab Lab managers or folks who are working, or even for yourself when you're thinking, I think just give it a deeper thought into why do you want to start, right? Next one, please. So I'm sure you might have heard about this statement. So Simon Sinek has this wonderful TED Talk. If you haven't seen it, I would really encourage you to definitely see it. It's called How Leaders Inspire. Okay. And that's where he says the statement that it's people don't buy hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Sure. So Simon Sinek says that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, right? And he explains it phenomenally with this this TED Talk. And I would really encourage all of you to watch that. Yes, could you take that to the next one, please? Yeah. So Anupam, you can keep scrolling as I move along the topic. Okay. Now, I think the who that we primarily speak about is about the founder, or so it may be you, it may be people in your makerspace. And the first question that we need to also understand is, yes, I'm good at building products, I'm good at building solutions, but do I really have the entrepreneurial skills that are needed? Just give me a second. Sorry. Yes, extremely sorry. I got a call. So so the who is primarily the entrepreneur. That do we have that entrepreneurial skills within us? If not, where can I get those? So one is obviously like we learn to teach ourselves about different technical tools. There is a lot of entrepreneurship tools or information that's out there which we can learn. Uh, and while we're doing this, the second part comes in is the team, right? Now, do we have a team, or am I someone who's a solo founder who's just trying to build a solution around it? Um, and if I have the technical skill set and I'm missing, like Isa said, or Felicity said, that yes, sometimes as makers we miss out on the business skills. So can we get can we get the business skills, uh, or somebody in the team with the business skills, uh, so that they can complement us? Maybe if we are not good with finance, can we get a team member who's good with finance? So these are the different ways and means that you can build a team, and that's equipped and balanced, right? uh, Moving to the next one, the what. So what are we offering uh, is something that we need to be very focused. So while what problem does a product or service solve, right? What's the USP here? Uh, is that something that we've really identified? If not, can we spend some time in terms of understanding or building that USP? That how am I able to build that core offering, right? The next one, so which is primarily the selling proposition. So this is the USP that we primarily talk about. Uh, you could spend a little bit time, and this can also come through different interactions that we have with our customers, in terms of really understanding what is the core issue that they're facing, and how does our solution or our business is able to solve them. Next one, please. So then the core, then the next step that comes in, when once we have this figured out, is how do we market? How do you build a strategy around uh, putting the product or the service out in the market, uh, designing the operations, and defining the sales strategy or the market strategy around it. Uh, yes. So the way we are able to make this product service stand out is primarily through building a compelling narrative around the product. The product, maybe the look and feel, the aesthetics of the product should be inspiring. Uh, the way that we're able to message or share across why this product will help you is uh, is very important. So if you see examples of products out there, right? Uh, like, hey, this Apple laptop will help you become 50% efficient, or like I'm just sharing some high level thoughts, or this product, this software will make your team uh, 2x faster, or ease your process, save you time by about 30%. So that kind of messaging that's very authentic should go out, and obviously it needs to be distributed through the right channels. So are we reaching out to people who are there? So if my target customers are on, let's say, on Facebook, and I'm marketing on Instagram, I probably might not be able to reach them properly. So are we targeting them on the right channels? Or if they are not online, they're more offline, am I speaking to them on the right channels? uh, yes, next one, please. And in terms of operations, so while we're starting up, there's obviously, we are in crunch, right? As entrepreneurs, we don't have a lot of funding. Mostly we're bootstrapped, and we need to understand, how do I manage whatever tools tools, people, resources that I have, and really put it in the best possible way. Next one, please. So again, what I'm sharing with you is like a crux of uh, this entire taking the first step to entrepreneurship. I do this actually as like a 3 day, almost like a 8 to 10 hour session, uh, which is much deeper in understanding, and through multiple folks who are experts in each of these domains. I'm just trying to give a head start into what stuff that you can start thinking about. Now, when I talk about sales, and this is what Isa, we were speaking about previously, was primarily finding our customers, right? We need to spend time in terms of doing a very hardcore market research, in terms of being able to figure out where these customers are, what demographics do they come by. So these are some high level demographics that you should definitely look at. That what age are they in, what's the gender, what's the spread of the gender, what's the purchasing power of them, like how much do they spend on these kind of products or services, what demographic do they come from, uh, and maybe more. So I think every product or service will have its own setup, like how many of them are offline, how many are there online. So multiple demographics you need to understand, which is very curated from a product perspective. Next one, please. And what does primarily define the success of a startup, right? Or as an entrepreneur? One is obviously the drive, that why are you doing it? Can you, like, why the hell am I in this place at all? Like, why did I choose uh, becoming an entrepreneur? If you have that internal drive, I think there's very little that can stop you. Uh, and obviously the discipline. So being a founder does not mean chilling around and getting people to do work for you. It actually means that you yourself are obsessed and you're following a day-to-day agenda of doing things in a certain way. There is a set means of activity. So for example, within my organization, we have this, like, every Monday and Friday we have these team meetings, wherein we make it sure that the entire team comes together and we all discuss what's the plan for the week, and then we have uh, sessions in between and all of that. So that's a tradition that we've established, that hey, this needs to be done every day. These activities need to be done every single day. So those that's the second. And third one is being adaptable. So most of the times as entrepreneurs, uh, we don't really get to have things in a certain way. So we have to adapt ourselves, fix ourselves uh, into things that are setting up, and sometimes you need to really divert a focus a little bit from the core that we're doing, so that things can fall in place. So how adaptable are you with people, with tools? Like I say, hey, I want to use an XYZ material in my uh, uh, in my device, but I'm not able to find it, or it might be too expensive. So can I really build something which solves it for now, right? Uh, at least at a prototype level, and then I can move on to the next step. And then primarily being authentic. So that's what, like, where the marketing comes into the picture. So are we telling what our brand or what our product really is, even if you have failure? So I think if you folks are on Twitter, there's a huge trend being about building in public, right? So, and I think with open source that really happens. So if you're using something like different tools wherein you're posting your updates and things like that, uh, I think that's where people come to know about your journey and are able to relate more and more as an entrepreneur or at a product level with you. Next one, please. Now, what's putting all of this together is where you come across writing a business plan. Um, yeah, next one, please. So, what are the core parts of the business plan that we have? So, um, I look at primarily at three levels. One is market analysis and sales strategy. The second is operations and logistics. How does it move? And the third one is the financial plan and the business projections that we potentially will look at. So there's something that I like to use, which is called the business model canvas. This is an amazing tool that I feel that you should definitely follow. The next slide, please. Yeah. So if you look at the business model canvas here, it is it's made of 9 blocks, right? So at the center you have the value proposition, and on the other sides you have the key partners, activities, resources, the cost structure on the left, and on the right you have the customer relationships, the distribution channels, the market segmentation, and the revenue streams, right? Um, so this is how it's distributed. The right hand side tells you about where the money comes from, and the left hand side tells you about where the money is being spent. So once you are able to uh, fill up a business model canvas like this, you're able to answer a lot of questions that might be in your mind as an entrepreneur, and really this gives you like a high level perspective of what your business would look like. Next one, please. And when do we launch? So quite frankly, there is something called as perfect timing. Sometimes people they say that, hey, you just prepare something and just launch, right? uh, at times, and statistically speaking, a lot of startup success depends on when your product is launched in the market, right? If it is at the right time, you'll receive success very easily. Uh, but there's also a certain thought process which says that, hey, there's no perfect timing for a product. What you do is, once you have the product, you just launch it. You launch it with 50 customers, and you keep refining it uh, uh, and optimizing. So there's an iterative process that you follow, and once you find that, hey, this is where my product, what you call is the product market fit, is when you achieve that, is when you start scaling. So it's all about, I'm sure you all might know about design thinking, and it's pretty much exactly that once you uh, build a certain solution, you keep iterating, you build different models around it, and once you know that, okay, this is something that is going to work, is when you start scaling that. So yeah, and that once you apply all of these things, that's when you get to ask the question, are you ready to start? And on a high level, I think this all of this prepares you to do that. Yes, next one, please. So yeah, so my team here, we are your facilitators. So Abhijit, for the folks who've joined in later, I lead the Vruksh Ecosystem Foundation as an executive director. I'm also part of the Fab Lab Nagpur. Anupam here with me is the community manager, and Sonam here is leads the operations. And yeah, we are your facilitators for the day. Uh, Moving forward, now I think I can just open up to more questions if you folks have. And if the folks who've recently joined in, if it would be great that if you could drop in your contact details on the chat, and we could reach out to you and share these maybe this presentation with you. And if you'd like me to do like a much longer discussion, happy to host that for you. So any questions here, folks?
No questions.
No, I'm good, thanks.
Sorry. Yeah. So Felicity, I hope I was able to answer your question to a certain degree.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's, I think, the best approach. And yeah, I would love to know, is this like a sort of training program, mentorship program? What do you consider it?
Abhijit, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. So we regularly keep hosting these kind of programs for like different organizations on a regular basis. So if you feel like it's largely what I shared with you, but it's much deeper engagement. As I said, that we do this across about 8 to 9 sessions, and over minimum about 3 days. We can do like, we've also run incubation acceleration programs which are like even 3 months long, with pretty much the same strategy, but then there's a much deeper engagement into each one of them. So if you feel that I can add value to your team or your lab members, I would be really happy to do that.
Yeah, I think it's a very valuable lesson. And one thing I think we've also been grappling with is thinking of a Fab Lab as a business entity, and how some of these entrepreneurship principles can be applied to help Fab Labs become more sustainable.
Absolutely. I
Abhijit,
think Fab Labs and
you're
yeah,
on
I
mute.
think ideally I see Fab Labs. I see Fab Labs as business incubators primarily, and I think with okay, just give me a second. I am just switching my system. Yes, hi. So yeah, I see I see Fab Labs as incubators for ideas, and that's where I feel that a lot of us can add value. And because it's a breeding ground for good ideas, it's a breeding ground for innovators, and I think there's a lot of focus towards entrepreneurship in general. Globally now, we see a lot of people coming out with different ideas, and there's some massive unicorns and listings, IPOs happening in the startup space. Then why shouldn't Fab Labs or we as makers really look at turning these phenomenal ideas into businesses, right? So that's what I feel. And as an organization, as a nonprofit, we primarily help people do that through different initiatives again. So if you feel there's again in any which ways I can add value, I'll also share across my website and my LinkedIn. I think if you can get in touch, happy to connect with all of you, and let's chat. So that's more about it. Anything, like, I would be open to some questions if you have, or any ideas on what you're doing, and uh, what's like, if there's anything I can help you with at this point in time. Or folks who haven't introduced themselves, can we just quickly go around and do a quick round of introductions once again? So Anupam, why don't you start?
Sure. All right. So, hi everyone. This is Anupam Pandey, and I'm currently working and exploring as a community manager at Vruksh Ecosystem Foundation. I'm also a global co-lead for Misfits at Misfits. Misfits is an online community for social entrepreneurs. And yeah, so this is a quick thing about me. And yes, if you would like to would like us to conduct such sessions or host such sessions, do connect with me. I've dropped in my mail ID also, and let's get connected on LinkedIn too. Thank you so much. So I would like to pass it on to Sonam. Would you like to go ahead?
Okay, Sonam, I think you're not audible. Maybe Felicity, do you want to go next? Will you just want to do a quick introduction once again?
Me?
Yes.
Okay, so my name is Felicity Mecha. I'm from Nairobi, Kenya, and I work with different maker spaces and maker networks. Some of the maker spaces I work with in Kenya are FabLab Winam, Gearbox, and FabLab Nairobi. I also work with the Africa Makerspace Network, and it's mainly working in collaboration with these FabLabs, helping to make that bridge between industry and Fab Labs, and you know, mobilize the interconnections, and you know, being able to, you know, value transfer and all that. I currently actually work for an organization, and it's called Africa Stocking, and it's one of the organizations that has funded the Fab Lab Winam and helped it get off the ground with its machinery and a bit of business advisory. And yeah, I keep working with, you know, different makers. And recently we also have an Internet of Things application interface together with some hardware kits for makers and hobbyists within any ecosystem, I could say, and they're all based on ARM architecture, that is STM F4 chip. So yes, yeah. So basically, I'm more like, I wouldn't know how to define myself, but I'm more involved in the maker ecosystem rather than within a single maker space, and I'm open to collaborating with different people in different capacities, and even be able to share more information on our maker board and the kit we have that is very appropriate for STEM functionalities also, because it's plug and play. We even have an interactive online platform that people can learn easily and get code snippets. And we're open to, you know, building a healthy maker ecosystem that you know, boosts enterprises across the globe.
Absolutely, thank you. So, Leo, I hope I'm not pronouncing your name incorrectly. Is it Laika or is it Leopold?
Leopold. Okay, so I'm based in Vienna. I'm sitting in Vienna in Austria, but I'm moving to the countryside in the next years. My professional background is in software development and electronics. I'm only interested in open source development because I don't see any future in proprietary things. Also, patents are very expensive, and it's just a game for big companies. So I want to make a shift from the classical Fab Lab with 3D printings and CNC and laser cutting. And I'm very interested in open agriculture because I think it's very important to find sustainable solutions with biomaterials and so on and so on. So that's what I'm very interested in. And I'm sure we need better networking, and because there are a lot of interesting projects around, but it's very hard to find them. Unfortunately, there is no good repository where you can find all the solutions. And I think we should look what's already around before we develop our own things, because it's very you need a lot of resources, and it's very wasteful if we don't look what's already there.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think I'm not sure if you folks follow Hackaday. So Hackaday has like a bunch of open source projects. I've hosted some of my projects there. So and I think I'm not sure if there's a Fab Lab specific project repository, but ideally I think we should maybe push the Fab community to build something like this.
Yeah, just some more words. I agree. I think my impression is that there are a lot of prototypes, but except of electronics, there are very few really open source hardware projects. But we have one flagship project in Austria. It's an architectural project. It's called the Vivi House. And it's about building sustainable houses in a modular way. But we are also in this point, we are on the point to find an open source business model.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think open source has its challenges in terms of starting up, because when you look at, as I was saying previously, like uh, when you look at hardware businesses out there, they are mostly driven by IP, and which is why traditional VCs or investors fund them. But when at the moment that you say that, hey, you're open source, your competitive advantage uh, uh, technically goes away, and which is what upsets a lot of investors of the day. And I think also with respect to hardware, I think there's any which ways there's not as many people that are funding hardware businesses as they used to, as it happens in the software side. But I think there will be some progress that potentially will happen. I'm really hoping that could happen over the next few years. So yeah, I think, yeah, I'll just move forward. So hey, Kent, would you like to introduce yourself? Kent, are you there? Okay, Neil, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Hi.
Hey.
Well, here I am.
Hey, hi. I think if you turn on cameras, we could also take a picture.
That's all right. Hi. I've just joined in a little bit late, but I'm from a Fab Lab in Germany, next, like kind of close to the Danish border. And yeah, I have an interest in supporting startups in the lab and kind of figuring out how we can do that.
Awesome. So yeah, I hope the session was helpful to you.
Yeah, it was nice to hear about your approach. Thank you.
Absolutely. So as I said, that if you feel that I could add more value, and if you have folks who are interested to start up, I could do like a more focused session with them, or maybe like I think all of you are. We could host a common one for the lab members beyond this Fab community. So yeah, that's pretty much. So next, I'm definitely pronounce this wrong, but Tan Fyong, if I'm right. Are you there? Okay. Harshal. If any one of you is speaking, we can't hear you. Cool. Okay, I'm not sure, but yeah. So yes, so that's about it. So I think Felicity, again, just coming back to you. So what's like? Have there been any startups so far from your hub or otherwise, from your lab, that have come out? Any success stories? Yeah, Felicity. I'm not sure if you are able to hear me. Hello, Anupam, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible. Felicity, you're not
Okay.
connected to audio. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think she might be facing an issue. Cool. So, yeah, Felicity, you're not connected to the audio. We're not able to hear you. Can't hear you, Felicity.
You're not audible, Felicity.
Okay. I think she's not able to hear us as well. Uh, okay, that's bad. Okay, I completely lost. I'm sorry. Felicity, can you check? Can you check your chats? We are not able to hear you. Can you open up the chat? Okay, I'm not sure if she can hear us. Okay, Kent or Tan, if you there, Leo, are you still around?
Yes, I'm around.
Okay, I think Felicity lost her audio, and I'm not sure. Did you get to hear what she said by any chance? Any one of you? Okay. Uh, okay, I'm not sure uh, if my audio is going through or if there's an issue on both your ends. So cool. I think this session was great. Thank you very much for joining in. We can still definitely stay connected. I've dropped in my contact details in the chat. Would love to connect. And Leo, I think since you are the software person, let's try and build something on those lines. Let us know if we can collaborate together and maybe solve this, or maybe just use Hackaday and get more people from the Fab Lab community to uh, just post on that.
Yeah, great. Let's stay in contact.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it was great chatting with all of you, and thank you very much. It's been great. Felicity, I'm not sure if you're able to hear us, but we sadly couldn't hear anything that you said. But this is good. Thank you very much for joining in, and we can close. Cool. So yes, Anupam, Sonam, thank you very much. I think we can close. I'll also head out now.
Sure. So I'm quickly, texting the host also regarding that we are closing.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I think we can exit the room. And I hope you've got everyone's email. We can just drop them a quick email about what we've been doing and connect with them later. Okay, cool. So thank you. Tan, Kent, we couldn't get to speak with you, but thank you for joining in.
Cool. We can close. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Do connect with us. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm ending the meeting now.